Hi, everyone. It's Holly Amaya from Story Imprinting. I'm here with my co-founder, Anne-Marie Hoftailing. At Story Imprinting, we teach great people and great companies the art and science of storytelling, and we do a ton of training on professional development topics and topics related to personal development as well. I want to talk to you, Anne-Marie, today about virtual meeting magic. I mean, all meetings are virtual, right, these days. And I find myself frequently thinking, like, does this need to be a virtual meeting, or can we just have a phone call? Remember those? Or, you know, we're getting so many inquiries from clients and folks who subscribe to our channel and on LinkedIn and whatnot, asking, like, how do I maximize my time in a virtual meeting? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, to start with what you said, I think it's really interesting. Does it have to be a virtual meeting? And does the person you're meeting with want it to be a virtual meeting? I think a really good start when you invite somebody to a meeting is ask them, what's your preference? Would you like to do a video conference or would you prefer a call? That's a really great way to start your relationship. Begin by asking them their preference. Not everybody wants to get on their 150th video chat that day. Some people don't want to go find proper lighting in their house and brush their hair. And all of that is okay. So I think, as a really tiny first step, just asking people how they would prefer to communicate in this environment is a great first step. And the other thing I think in general is don't waste people's time. If you have a new client, a new relationship, or even a current client, one of the things I always say to people is, I'd love to jump on a quick video chat or call for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I set up the expectation from the word get. This is going to be incredibly economical. I don't want to waste your time or my time. I'm sure you have 1,000 of these meetings. And then when we get on that meeting, I don't spend 10 minutes talking about the weather and what the weather's like in New York and, how's it going in the pandemic? Nobody wants to, they've had 100 of those conversations.
I'm tired.
I dive right in. And we have a high impact meeting in a very economical framework and with very specific objectives and action items in the end. It's a really tight, easy recipe, but let me tell you, because we've been on these calls, that is not what people do. I'm not mentioning any names, but I have stories and feelings.
And also there's like meetings about meetings, or meetings that beget meetings.
Meetings that make babies.
They make baby meetings. And so how do people, I do feel like for a lot of companies, right? Some companies are kind of built on meeting culture, right? I mean, certainly when I was in-house, it was like I had transitioned from being in a law firm and then I went in-house and I was shocked for like the first 2 months. I'm like, my calendar, first of all, everyone has access to my calendar, which I found to be crazy because as a litigator, that was never the case. Like my assistant had access to my calendar, but like not everybody else. So people would just start scheduling meetings on my calendar without asking me. And I was, oh yeah. And I was like, I mean, if you're watching, like, this is your life, can I get a hell yes? Like, this happens, right? Oh, I see that you're available, so I've scheduled time. And what that has the practical impact of doing is totally devaluing the time of the person that you're, working with or wanting to meet with. And it makes it incredibly difficult to get work done. I mean, and we talk a lot about, being able to sit down for 20 to 30 minutes in this microburst strategy of getting whatever, 3 things on your to-do list just knocked out. You're not checking your email, you're not looking at your phone. If you're just in and out of meetings just for the sake of having meetings and they're begetting new meetings, I mean, it's just like, I need to go take a nap thinking about it.
And I will also say, pre-COVID, one of the things I used to always tell people is you've got to be really careful what I call got a minute culture, which is like these micro meetings, like, do you got a minute? You got a minute?
Pick your brain.
Yeah. And what happens is you are functioning in this highly reactive state all of the time. You have no ownership of your time, your calendar. You're just in a constant state of reactivity. And you're also nurturing this culture of micromanagement and disempowering people because they don't feel that they can go make a decision without coming to you in this got a minute checking in kind of thing, versus like, no, go and do your job and come to me if you really need to meet with me about something important, versus this constant, circle of approval and feedback, which can be incredibly depleting and disastrously unproductive.
And expensive, right? When you actually think of like the amount of time that everyone is putting into something like that. I mean, that's extremely expensive. One last question for you, because we get this a lot too when it comes to business development. I mean, we are living in a time where it's hard to do the traditional business development activities, right? The things that you may have always done without fail that led to conversions you can't do because of the pandemic. So how do you keep those initial contacts with new leads or prospective clients, excuse me, how do you keep them high impact when they're virtual?
So a couple of things. We'll link down below to our no contact business development talk that we did. But a couple of things that I think are real important. Again, one, ask for small pieces of time. Do not get on a call to just chat, to just catch up. Nobody is interested in that right now. You better have a purpose for your call. You better have an objective. You better know what it is, and you better be there to tell me something. I'm not interested in a call where you're just rambling to reconnect. Nobody wants that. Nobody. And so I think you have to be really thoughtful about the way you're engaging with people and talking to people. And some of this work, we don't have networking events. I'm just going to say it. LinkedIn is a 24-hour cocktail party.
Right.
You should be following these people. You should be responding to what they're posting. You should be writing recommendations for people that maybe you sat on a committee with. That costs you nothing, but that purchases you a lot of social capital.
Yep.
And so I think there's a lot of things you can do online that are just sort of engaging with people and doing business development relationship stuff that you can no longer do in person. If you're trying to do things, that are sort of low impact, I think things that are really inexpensive, buy everybody that you're courting a book that changed your life recently or this year and send it to them. Way cheaper than networking, right on the cover. I do that all the time. People really appreciate that. It also is better, frankly, than things like wine or food when you're dealing with food allergies, right, or people who don't drink. That gets a little sketchy if you know people well. This is something people really appreciate and value. Just these really personal things that keep you connected. And I just think things like that still really matter.
Yes, I love it. Well, we are going to link to our no contact BD talk below, so you guys will see that. We'll also link to some other content that's relevant. But thank you, as always, Anne-Marie, for all of your fabulous tips. We want to know your virtual meeting stories. We want to know about like disastrous ones. We want to know about great ones. We want to know about tips that you've picked up along the way. Feel free to drop those in the comments and reach out to us and let us know about them. Please follow our channel. You can find all kinds of great professional development topics and talks. Easy for me
all
to
of
say.
them.
All of them, just like this. And yeah, have a great day, Anne-Marie.
You too. Bye.